Speaking of world domination, read out Oppenheimer. Go.
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that.
Did we see the bombs go off? Please tell me we saw the bombs go off.
Oh, I saw the bomb go off.
Was it loud?
No, there was no noise.
Oh, they did it like a silent shot. See, I was reluctant to go to IMAX because of that reason. It's IMAX is usually really loud in that fucking theater. It's like big speakers.
Let's just say it this way: it's very quiet, and then
and then no,
well,
and then
you should go see the movie.
No, and then
and then
what we're gonna get is a message.
I do like a review every other week. It's time for Readout to do one.
Guys, hold on. What we're gonna get at the end is a message about, and then we have millions of bombs all over the world, and we can end humanity in a single match. We need to love each other and treat each other with kindness, because we're all human beings, and kumbaya. Is that what we're going to be dealing with?
What's this quote that you posted in the chat here? Talk about that.
And then
and then there was anti-Semitism.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the memes.
Yeah, there's a literal. I don't even know what I guess. There's a literal line in the movie, and it actually they use part of it in the second trailer, where it's Oppenheimer talking to General Groves, when Groves like, all right, I'll give you a chance to be the director of this project, but you got to like prove to me, like, how can we do this? And he's like, well, so the Germans likely are developing a bomb right now, and I'm not going to lie to you, we don't have a lot of chances, but there is one hope. There's one hope that we can beat the Germans with: anti-Semitism. And Groves is like, what? And then he explains, he's like, well, because the Germans are so boneheaded on their nationalism and anti-Semitism, they're not willing to listen to certain theories that are written by doctors or certain religions.
Yeah. Okay.
So it actually makes sense. Like, it's like,
but
it was just just the
like,
way he said it.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, the way he said it, and even Groves is just like, what? And everybody just started laughing.
Is that is Groves is Matt Damon, right?
Correct.
Oh, I said it wrong. Hold on.
Matt Damon.
No. Wrangler.
Matt Damon. To be honest, not that Damon does a bad performance. He is miscast. I do feel he's the most miscast role in the whole film.
Really?
Just some of his line deliveries were just... They're just like typical Hollywood line delivery. Not like I did not believe that he was an actual general in the Second World War. I believed that he was Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He didn't hold himself to that.
Yeah, he has one of the worst lines of the whole movie, and it's in the trailer. He's like, well, how about this is why should go? Because it's the most important thing that's ever happened to human history. It's just like,
wait.
That just sounds so contrived.
So he does the opposite of Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Where Brad Pitt was actually really good in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
I want 99 bleeping scalps.
I gotta ask you right off here, Readout. Was it historically accurate through and through?
For what I know, and keep in mind, my specialty is not the Second World War. My specialty is actually 18th and 19th century American history. But I do have an interest in nuclear history and how people apparently never learn about nuclear history the right way. Surface level, everything looks right. Los Alamos is depicted perfectly to the point that if they could shoot it at the real location, they were shooting it at the real location. So you might see sequences you probably saw where they're like in some rally at a lodge. That's a real life lodge. It's at Los Alamos that a lot of the events in the movie did historically transpire in. So when they try to keep it as close as they could to the real site. And if not, they build it very well.
I do know from a chemist perspective, a lot of the chemistry and stuff that they do show in the movie is accurate.
Readout. Gino asks, should I see it or not?
Do you like... Well, first question, do you like Christopher Nolan? That has to be the first question.
Right.
This is the most Christopher Nolan
You have to
movie
know it's Christopher Nolan. So if you don't like Christopher Nolan, this would be like asking if you want to see it's a Michael Bay movie. A Michael Bay movie's coming out.
Well, he did Dunkirk.
Do you like Michael Bay?
So if you like Christopher Nolan,
it's Christopher Nolan.
Do you like
he's all right.
Political thrillers?
He's all right.
Yes.
All right.
And then the third one, are you really sure you want to watch Christopher Nolan do a political thriller? If you can pass all of those
Yeah.
free, then you're in.
I didn't
Oh,
think I really cared for political thrillers, but then someone said uh, Captain America: The Winter Soldier was a political thriller.
Huh?
Yeah, I would call
Yeah,
that
I guess.
a
I guess I
political
could.
thriller.
And they
But I
they
think like
called the first
Manchurian
Black Panther
Candidate.
movie a political thriller.
And I
Yeah,
will
I think
say
more-
this:
Go ahead.
the movie I will say this: what I went into thinking, I'm like, this is going to be a grandiose, epic retelling of the Manhattan Project. What I got was the personal insight into Oppenheimer's woes over, obviously building the atomic bomb, but more so over his character clearly cannot make a decision, and they do bring that out for the whole film, that he is indecisive constantly, and the whole movie's making it seem like he's indecisive. That's like his flaw until the ending, and then you start thinking, wait a minute, maybe he wanted you to think that the whole time.
Did they do Did they just play the real footage at the end of the movie of Oppenheimer? His I am come deaf.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
no.
curious about.
No, I mean
They didn't play that then?
they quoted, well, they quoted several times, but they don't use any, as far as I'm aware, they don't use any archival footage of anything.
Yeah, but I
I need
mean,
to see
like
that
at the
footage.
end credit scene, that'd be a great thing to play at the end credit scene.
No,
Have you
they
seen
didn't.
that? Like his expressions
Watch-
and his
oh, yeah.
mannerisms when he does that. He's the look on his face and the way he's looking down and just kind of staring. He's like he's not really thinking. He's just kind of rationalizing what he's just done for Earth and humanity. Like this may not have been a good thing.
Now, there was an
But
back at,
hold on. I'm sorry, but hold on, Trippy. It was either that or the U.S. invades Japan. Do you have any idea the amount of bloodlust
we'll
we
get
would
to the
have
debate
seen?
to the bomb. We'll debate the purpose of the bomb later. But for now, there was another movie back in 1989 called Fat Man and Little Boy that also was supposed to be a more by the numbers account of the Manhattan Project. I will say this: Fat Man and Little Boy, which is a very streamlined Hollywood depiction of the bomb. You know, it's point A to point B. Far less accurate than Oppenheimer. And even though Oppenheimer is told out of sequential order, it's still a far better depiction of the Manhattan Project. It's the best depiction of the Manhattan Project in a motion picture. I will say that regardless of its flaws, it is the best depiction of the creation of the atomic bomb on screen.
Yeah, well, that's what I was this movie Oppenheimer seems it's more about, again, Oppenheimer and not the bomb itself, like more about the
Correct
individual, who he was
So
in history.
if you're worried you're going to get like confused by the physics, don't worry. I mean, it's definitely there in the background, and I'm sure they did their homework, but Nolan's not there to give you a science lesson. He knows that. He's there for the
enough
humans.
for the technobabble should satisfy the nerds.
Yes.
Yeah, Gino's got a question for you.
Which one? He had the one.
He said
Oppenheimer was an
Oppenheimer
egotistical
was-
jackass. As long as that's portrayed, I'm good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he's good.
It's probably, I will say, it's probably more subdued than historically, because he's supposed to be the main character. So you gotta
Right, you can't make
gotta
him
make him a
seem
little likable.
unlikable. Yeah, you can't make him unlikable.
And Philip Barajas asked, "Did you like Matt Damon better in Air?"
Air.
Assuming you've seen
That
it.
was about the creation of Air Michael Jordan's.
Oh yeah,
I
remember
didn't
seeing
see
the
it.
trailer for that.
But I think Ben Affleck directed that one, or at least he was in it. I don't know if he directed it.
I don't
Ben
think I
Affleck
saw
and
that
Matt
one.
Damon together? No.
No. Shut up.
Matt Damon.
The biggest, what I will wrap up on my thoughts on Oppenheimer is 2/3 of it are everything I could have hoped for, which, as much as, I went in thinking, okay, this is going to be a big historical epic. And once I realized, okay, this is definitely, even though it's on IMAX, I personally don't see it on IMAX, but the idea that this is filmed on 70 millimeter IMAX, I went, okay, this is not what I was expecting. This is definitely more of a small scale story, but I am all for that because I like political thrillers. I like more personal pieces going into somebody's psyche, especially in a historical event with such great ramifications. I got 2/3 of that. 1/3, it had to be run for the editing room again. I get what Nolan is trying to tell this with 2 framing devices, and you will see it at the beginning of the film. And now they realize it. It starts with It says 1 fission, and moments later it says 2 fusion. That's to set you up that there's 2 framing devices that are recounting the events of the Manhattan Project. The problem is, and they've done this so many times in historical films, Free State of Jones did this in 2016. They have a framing device, but they don't really make it known until like 30 minutes into the film. So you're completely out of sync for like the first hour of the film. Like, wait, why do we keep flashing back and forth to Robert Downey Jr.? Why is Oppenheimer in this room right now? Why are we doing this interview? What is this? If they would have opened up and more, if they would have more properly just set up the 2 framing devices, I think I would have been okay then. But they didn't. And also, there's pointless nudity in this film. It is really pointless.
Really?
Yeah, like there's no point. There's no like it doesn't add to the story or anything. I'm like, this could have been PG-13. Why?
One of the
But
R
we're
ratings.
artsy. We're artsy.
Artsy, exactly. That's why they. I was kind of let down when he said that they tell it out of order again. It's just like, yeah, they do that. That's like a cheap artistic gimmick, and it always comes off that way, right?
Yeah.
I hate
Everybody's
movies
trying.
that do that.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Woo, you have to go back and see it multiple times to understand it." I'm like, no, I'm just confused now.
See, I love Dunkirk, but I was confused through 50% of that movie when they kept jumping around between the different, especially the pilots. You're like, wait, how are they in the sequence of the story?
But the Ultimate Kahuna asked the most important question: are there naked women dancing on top of a nuke? I must know for science.
Sadly, no.
Kahuna, you
2 out of 10. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, 1.5 stars.
You know that silhouette of a woman we see on a Big Rigs mud flap? I'm now envisioning old style gravity bombs with that silhouette just stamped on the side of it as it
thinking of the
drops.
guy riding the bomb and the end down, where he's wearing the bomb with the cowboy hat.
Yep.
Slim Pickens and Dr. Strangelove going down.
Yep.
One of my favorite movies, by the way.
We 100% believe you, Gino. Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah, so this subjective and objective stuff. So you probably saw in the trailer, there's black and white sequences. A lot of it involves Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he's portraying Louis Strauss, who was once in charge of the Atomic Energy Commission in the late 1940s, was working with Oppenheimer, and then had a falling out with Oppenheimer, and was up for nomination for to be in charge of the commerce and the presidential cabinet. Anyways, or congressional cabinet. Sorry, I'm boring you all. I know. Anyways, so Nolan's trying to. He's like, he tries to explain. It's like, okay, if the film is in color, that's subjective. That's up to our interpretation. We're working with what we know. We can make fiction off of it, where the black and white is supposed to be objective. That okay, this happened, it's recorded for a fact, we know this is what they're saying or what's going on. That's great and all. That's not the framing device. That sounds like
a neat idea to me.
It is, but it's not the framing device. So if the black and white was the framing device, it'd be much more simplistic to follow, even if it was out of order. But instead, you have these 2 different uses of color, and then throw in the fact there's 2 different framing devices out of sync with the main plot of Oppenheimer's life.
Oh, brother.
Notice the headache, yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, was it 3 different time periods they kept bouncing through?
Oh my. So, and actually, the movie, I will say this, even if it's jumping back and forth, it is well paced. Like I did not feel the runtime until we hit about the 2.5 hour mark. So that's on that.
One thing I like about Nolan movies, the pacing. Very good.
The pacing is good the whole way through, or for the most part, even with the jumping around. But so they rush through his early life, which is fine by me because I'm like, I don't want a cradle to death film. I want Oppenheimer, peak Oppenheimer in the 40s and 50s. That's what we all came for.
Hold up, you don't want to see little Oppenheimer?
No, I'm okay.
Oppen pussy.
Yeah.
So they briefly talk about his. They briefly talk about his academia. Then they get into him teaching at Berkeley, and then they go into in depth about the Manhattan Project, and that is the crux of the film. Don't let that be misled. That is the crux of the movie. It's just it's disjointed to be artsy.
Yeah.
Ryan Kennel said that it was okay. He was glad he had seen it, but he probably wasn't going to watch it again just because it was 3 hours.
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Like I'm probably more in favor of this, even with all my criticisms, just because I'm a history nerd. And there are still stuff in this film. Cillian Murphy's performance is the single best part of this film. He is fantastic from start to finish.
Okay.
The visuals, it's an Nolan film. The bomb sequence that everybody's hyped for is as great as you're expecting it to be. Even when you start feeling, wait, that's it? No. Don't worry. It's as good as it is. It might subvert some things, and I know that word's scary, but trust me.
Wait, how long is the nuke? How long is the nuke scene?
Oh,
Let
it's
you
probably got to
sit
go
on
on for 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, they let you sit on it.
Oh, they let you bask in that warm glow from
It would have sucked if they had only 15-second clip.
No.
15 seconds of it, and you're
This is
what?
what this is the budget of this is where most of the budget probably went. Let's be honest. they're gonna
hold up.
obviously.
Hold up. There's some tit scenes, so some of the budget went to that. Come on,
Guys.
Yeah, you gotta pay extra for that.
As much as we're sitting here going, "Ooh, boobs," and having a good time with it, Gino has a good point. I'm dead serious. It's just lazy writing. Oh, look, we have boobs. Come on, come watch us. It's pathetic. He's not wrong.
You're
not
artsy
Hold
gimmick.
up.
Yeah.
Gino, remember, Game of Thrones makes a lot of money with boobs. So come on, let's get some respect here.
Yeah,
But
but
that's also a very different
I don't want to
tone
see
and
them.
setting.
hold up. But that's HBO style. Doesn't matter. Game of Thrones. HBO was doing fucking nudity scenes and all that shit way before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true.
They pretty much they get a script and they go, now where can we put
From
ass
Cradle
and
to
tits?
Armageddon. This is a new subgenre of the biopic.
Yeah, but
You think someone's
Rita,
I haven't started vomiting yet.
Rita, you are ignoring a very important question here. Do we see the burnt shadow of that couple in the credit scenes of Oppenheimer? If not, if they are going to deny me that, then this is a very bad movie.
I'm lost.
You don't know the burnt shadow of the Japanese couple?
Oh, okay. I kind of vaguely thought you were talking about the Hiroshima ghosts, but I didn't.
Oppenheimer
I didn't
takes
fully
place
know.
at Los Alamos. It's not even.
Yeah, no.
like that.
You see nothing from Hiroshima or Nagasaki, for the record.
Yeah, no, it ends with them testing,
and it's
in
fine
the
by
planet
me.
desert.
Remember, this movie is being presented to nerds, and nerds don't want to see Nintendo get blown up. So
I don't want to cry.
Wait. Did they have
too far
Godzilla
for
come
me.
up out of the ocean?
What are you talking about? I'm gonna cry.
So read
everybody spoke at once, and I didn't understand one of you.
Read out. Did they have Godzilla come up out of the end credit scene?
No, but that would make the film 10 times better.
That would be badass.
Evangelion.
We were talking about that at Gilded earlier.
Oh my god, it's Godzilla!
Did it feel like a
I would
depressing
still
film?
like to see Godzilla versus friggin' the stupid Pacific Rim robots. That would be cool.
Oh, the Pacific Rim robots would get destroyed.
I know.
I'm sorry. The real fun would be how long can they last?
Versus Predator or Aliens.
Read out another end credit scene is just fucking. You just see John Wayne, and he just goes down to sit in his seat. And hands down, and it says Genghis Khan.
Dark. Funny,
I haven't
but dark.
watched
like
how it should have ended in a long time.
They look kind of lost their magic.
Well, they kind of piddled out when all the movies coming out went to crap. Then they kind of got a bit of an uptick right there right away because they were fixing them in a lot of our views.
So
but we got sick of the movies being crap. We stopped watching the movies, so we don't even watch how it should have ended anymore.
Yeah. So this is kind of my transition comment. So wait a minute, how is it a real world event like the atomic bombing that none of us were alive for feels more vivid and more recent than how it should have ended videos? Because legit, I have not watched one in like 10 years. Something like that.